The Austin Roasters Club Roast honoring Charlie Hodge. Please put your hands together for your dais this evening. Introducing first, Mr. Brent Foshi. Mr. Chad Warren. Jaime Gonzalez. Joe Parsons. Matt Chicken Wing Sadler. And the man of the hour. Actually, no, me, the roast master, Daniel Slatat. Okay, I didn't mess that up. All right, and now it is time to introduce the man of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we welcome the host of the Hodgecast, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Charlie Hodge! Welcome once again to the Austin Roasters Club Roast of Charlie Hodge. Now you may be asking yourselves, why are we roasting Charlie Hodge? And so are we. Why are we roasting this man when there are so many others here tonight with us more deserving? Look at how long Chad Warren has been doing comedy and has yet to say a single funny thing. Look at how Jaime Gonzalez has bravely conquered anorexia. He has defeated it, ladies and gentlemen. These are accomplishments worth roasting. What has Charlie ever done? What has he ever given us? I mean, besides Sadler's career, of course. Actually, perhaps I've overstated. During his days at KLBJ, and even now with the Hodgecast, Charlie has indeed been an inspiration to us all to get XM radio. Charlie is one of those people with a filthy mouth and a heart of gold. And by heart of gold, I mean, it's like one of those candies that you get that are wrapped in gold coins, but you open it up and it's a piece of shitty chocolate. What I'm saying is he'll probably die of heart disease. Charlie, a lot of your old radio friends wanted to come out tonight, but they couldn't because they still have jobs. This man dresses like a homeless person, drinks like a homeless person, and smells like a homeless person. All he needs is a thong, and I think we found Leslie's replacement. Oh, too soon? Too soon? At least Charlie's tits are real. Charlie's an out-of-work drunk stoner. Basically, he could have been any of my college roommates. The one difference, of course, being that my college roommates had potential to do something productive with their lives. You ever seen Charlie smile? I didn't know teeth could get jaundice. Seriously, I thought we were roasting Charlie Hodge, not Nick Swartzen's drunk dad. Whenever Charlie's KLBJ show was on, or his Hodgecast is on now, I never turn the channel, because I'm typically listening to something else. Charlie reminds me of a bad guy wrestler from the 80s, back when they all had jobs. And of course, right there, this analogy begins to break down, but stay with me. There was Duke the Dumpster Drosy, he was a trash collector guy. There was IRS, Erwin R. Shyster, the tax guy. Charlie could have been Charlie the Host Hodge, and that works on a couple levels, because he was a radio show host, and he provides a living for a parasite. Speaking of Sadler, in this same scenario, he would be the creepy, stupid manager guy who accidentally hits the hot blonde in the face with a chair. Of course, they would sometimes do tag team matches, and their finishing move would just be to trip the guy and force him to listen to their podcast so they pass out. Nothing? Wow, all right. No wrestling fans, huh? All right. Charlie is a big fan of Eastbound and Down, and Kenny Powers, of course, and for honest, Kenny makes Charlie look a lot like Stevie. And Sadler makes Stevie look a lot like Clooney. No one gets HBO. Okay, all right. Charlie tells a story about how he had the idea for Tosh.0, but the head writer of Tosh.0 stole his idea. Other inevitable things that Charlie likes to take credit for include toilet paper, the fleshlight, and exploiting the homeless. If you were to go to charliehodgeshow.com and click on bios, you'll see that it currently says coming soon, which incidentally is a phrase Charlie's wife Rebecca hears early and early. She hears it early. I took the liberty to write some bios for these guys. First, Charlie Hodge. Scott Conn and Michael Madsen had a baby and breastfed it with KFC gravy. And of course, Sadler, Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal had a secret incest baby and reared it in such a way that it grew up to have lower self-esteem than a guy who looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman's brother with Down syndrome. Okay. That was kind of mean. Charlie, let me buy you a drink for that one. I can tell by looking at you, I know what you want, a drink that would fit you to the T. Waitress, can I get a Lone Star for this guy, please? And if you could, have a Lone Star Red piss in it for me. That'd be great. Do you guys listen to his show? Or, just can't tell. Listeners to the Hodgecast will know a couple things. First, they've made a serious error in judgment. And second, Charlie often ends with a bit called This Day in History. Well, he and Sadler look up things that happened on the day in history and react to them with intended humorous results. Well, let's do today, this day in history. May 31st, in 1836, Charles Dickens' first novel was released. And hopefully today Brent Foshee will get his first laugh. And it'll be more than me. It'll be more than me, apparently. It'll be more than me. On this day in 1995, the longest strike in Major League Baseball history ended. However, Charlie's lifelong strike against personal hygiene is stronger than ever. On this day in 1965, President Johnson publicly denied actions contemplated in Vietnam. And today, Charlie will publicly deny actions contemplated inebriated. And finally, on this day in 1968, President Johnson announced a bombing halt. And if I were to do that, obviously this would be the end of the roast. Because of bombing. Okay. Traditionally, at a roast, after we cut the man of the hour a new asshole, we like to take a minute and say something nice. And I'm really going to have to read this one now. Charlie, I've been listening to your Hodgecast in preparation for the show, and you really are one funny son of a bitch.
Should be the last.
You said your dream was to work where you didn't have to wear a tie, where you didn't have to go to an office or take a nap, and you've achieved that, and that is truly honorable and inspiring. You've got your dream. Your show is about joy and laughter to all of Austin. It's truly been an honor, pleasure roasting you this evening. Thanks for letting us have fun with you, and keep up the good work. Now that I'm done, our first performer was on our dais for our last roast of local ESPN radio show host Ari Temkin, and during his set he did a great impression of Jim Rome. Unfortunately, no one laughed because they didn't know who Jim Rome was. Tonight he's going to be telling some jokes by a comedian that, again, no one knows. Himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brent Foshee.
Thank you very much. That's Daniel Sawtelle, a man so forgettable he almost forgot himself. Daniel, you've come a long way since being born under state care. I want to start a little politics. I'm going to get political. Sorry if that offends anybody, but I learned something today about Rick Santorum. I learned that if two gay guys have the gay sex, I'm trying not to be graphic because of the rules, the whatever liquid combination of fluids that comes out of the butthole is called a Santorum. Interestingly, if one or both of those people have AIDS, it's called a Sawtelle.
Don't Google that.
No. Daniel, you're such an asshole. When you die, the First Universal Church of Kansas is going to show up at your funeral, but not to picket, to mourn. Jaime Gonzalez, my good friend, the only man I know who's eaten more livestock than El Chupacabra. Next, I have a bunch of jokes about Jimmy Roulette. But unfortunately, because I went first, he's not here. I should have known that when I saw the order. Tough crowd. You think Texas, you know? Feel like that joke would work. Joe Parsons. How you doing, Joe? Master Pancake Theater. I have a lot of respect for any man that can achieve any type of fame or success from doing shit that people can do themselves. Watch movies and talk about them. People get thrown out of theaters for doing what you do, yet you're a hero. I always want to come watch your show, but then I just stay home and watch reruns of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And make waffles. Matt Sadler, one of the biggest stars in Austin comedy, except for Jaime. I hope that's enough, Matt. That's probably as far as we're going. Chad, I don't really know who or what you are, but I'm glad you're here. It looks like it's good for you to get out. Charlie Hodge. Woo! Charlie Hodge, everybody! This is Charlie Hodge! I've known you for like 4 years, since you walked into Cold Town Theater on a Monday night during a class, drunk off your ass, wondering what time you needed to be there for the show on Saturday, a week or two down the road. Yeah, do you? Yeah. No, I've known you. Yeah. You know what, Charlie? It's a travesty that you're not on the radio. It's a travesty. Shouldn't Charlie still be on the radio? But I don't think it matters, because Charlie is a guy that walks by the beat of his own drummer. Most people get fired from their job and then grow a beard. When Charlie got fired, he actually shaved the beard off for a little bit, and he didn't care. That was just what Charlie did. I imagine it was because Miss Charlie Hodge said, if there's no paycheck, I'm no longer riding a street sweeper. But I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm speculating. I have some ideas here, Charlie. I have some ideas, really just one idea, to get you back on the air. I think we should all call 101X. Right? Everybody, no one listens to it, but we all know it exists, right? I think we should all call 101X and pitch to them, why don't you cut your Bush playlist back in half and give that 2 hours to Charlie? Right? I mean, do we need 4 hours of Machine Head? No. In 1996, I didn't need 4 hours of Machine Head every day. I don't know, I think that's a good idea. I want to do that. Yeah. Everybody friend Daniel, because he needs them, and we'll start something on Facebook. But Charlie, I want to talk a little bit about what went wrong with the show. The Charlie Hodge halftime show, right? You took a sporting event, which is something awesome, and you named your show after the worst part of it. The halftime. No one cares about that. Like, you don't take something awesome and then take the worst part of it. Like, why not call your show the Charlie Hodge post-game traffic jam, or the Charlie Hodge post-coital talking part, or, you know, the Charlie Hodge, I'm the 12-year-old daughter you never knew you had. I don't know. But the beard's back, and I'm happy to see that. So maybe you and that possum on your chin can call up a radio station and do the Charlie Hodge and the Possum Morning Breath Band Sucky Hour. Yeah, a little bit. I tweaked it a little bit. You know, I had to do some rewrites.